Welcome back to Noise. In this episode, we're going to cover all of the new product updates from Adobe Max. Addy?
Hello, Joey.
Let's get into it.
Please report to room 7, Joey.
Are you, am I player 457? Is
Yeah.
it 457? I still... Oh,
Happy
my
Halloween.
gosh. I forgot to wear my inflatable alien costume that I did buy that I'll wear tomorrow.
Awesome.
I still have not seen season 3 yet. I still need to catch up on that one.
Season 3 sets us nicely for the next season, so definitely give that a go.
I thought it was the last season. I thought it was it. Is there more?
Come on. It's just getting started, man.
There's more Squid Games.
Yes.
All right. So Adobe Max is happening right now, or wrapped up by the time this has aired. There have been a ton of new product updates, a lot of stuff we've talked about before, a lot of stuff that I feel like we're seeing integrated into actual products. We can just run through everything that we've been seeing online.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's give it a go.
So in the kind of first press update that they posted, grab bag of AI updates. So Adobe Firefly, the model, because this always gets confusing now because there's Adobe Firefly, sort of the product, which is like their AI platform. And then there's Adobe Firefly, their generative, trained on commercially safe data model. The model is now upgraded to version 5. And from some stuff I've been seeing online, a lot of the improvements in that, way better with like people and portraits. But this is the model that's used under the hood in the features on Photoshop, like Harmonize, which we talked about a few episodes ago, which was you can kind of add a couple layers into Adobe, and then it just blends the lighting and blends the subject into the background more. That's using Firefly under the hood. I had seen people say that it didn't work great with people, but that Adobe Firefly 5 improves a lot of that, and so it should work better when harmonizing with people.
Yeah, my guess is they just retrained it with more data, right? Like one of the biggest lack of quality came from the fact that it was all licensed data. And as you know, there's not nearly as much licensed data as there is publicly available data.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping and guessing that Firefly 5 is just like, maybe in the billions of parameters, perhaps from the millions.
Yeah, that is a tongue twister. Firefly 5.
Firefly 555 on Halloween.
Also, some other integrations. This was integrated, but I think it was a beta version of Photoshop. But basically, Photoshop had, in addition to Firefly, obviously, but they added Nano Banana and Flux context as models you could call up. I think that's now in the official release. That was like a beta release version before.
Yeah.
But then they also added Generative Upscale with an integration with Topaz. And this is across, I believe, built into Photoshop and also as an option in Firefly and Firefly boards. So that's also cool to see that they have other upscaling options, with their partnership with Topaz as well.
Yeah, congrats to the Topaz team. I saw some of the pictures of them at Max. I was like, oh, yeah, there you go. That's an ecosystem building right there.
Yeah, they've really been having a good moment with like stuff they've been doing for years. Is really the timing has worked out with the rise of AI materials. And also, even if you're not doing AI stuff, upscaling is useful to have just across the board, especially if you can get good, sharp details upscaled.
Yeah, the traditional upscaler that's built into Photoshop, for example, is still using math, right? Like, interpolating between pixels and I think it's called like bicubic interpolation, stuff like that. Whereas the Topaz one will actually use an AI engine.
Yeah, I remember asking Manji when he was talking about Astra, their generative video upscaler, what was upscaling before, and it was sort of just like, it's complicated. Don't worry about how it worked before. Like, it's math. It's a lot of math.
Like, dude, you're not gonna just use it.
Yeah. But yeah, the generative model is, it's like they train their own model, but that model is on like taking blurry images and making them sharper. And so it's a generative
just like thinking super long term, and I think Topaz knows this as well. When the image models are fundamentally not going to be a small pixel size anymore, like when they're actually natively 2K or 4K or 8K, within latent space, you're not going to need upscalers.
Maybe not as much, but
yeah,
I'm curious to see when that happens, and if that's the case. But there's still if you crop it, if you're like, maybe you do make a generation, but you want to keep something but crop in or zoom into it, upscalers can come into play that way.
Or maybe upscalers will evolve to upscale bit depth and dynamic range and some of the other things other than pixels.
Right. I mean, we saw that workflow from ETC where they they didn't use any of Topaz's generative models. Those were all their math models. But basically, it was like a workflow to take the 8-bit AI images and turn them into something where you can get more latitude out of them using a combination of like NIX and Gaia, I think, and some of their other models to denoise it and then add some more dynamic range into the images. I mean, like, it could still also be cheaper and faster, even if we do have models that are spitting out 8K, to generate something faster at a lower res and get what you like, and then upscale it. And it might be cheaper and faster to do that still than to generate multiple iterations from the start at 4K or 8K.
Yeah, in the end of the day, a lot of filmmakers will tell you, like, it doesn't matter how you got to it. It's just that you got to it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, other updates that they were announced. This one's a public beta. AI object mask in Premiere automatically identifies and isolates people and objects in video frames so they can be edited and tracked without the need for manual rotoscoping.
Wow.
This is cool.
Nice.
That stuff like that is fun.
Yeah. Wait, did you say we don't have to rotoscope? I'm in.
But not even that, but also just like click and just detect things. Yeah. Awesome. Jumping back to Firefly Foundry, which we talked about in one of the last episodes.
Yeah, we covered Firefly Foundry and the Invoke acquisition on two episodes ago, I believe.
Yeah. And so Foundry was a way I think I got some of this wrong because it was initially posted as like a enterprise level custom way to use Firefly as a foundation and train your own model on top of Firefly, using your own assets, your own IP, your own material, and have your own custom model.
I haven't used it yet, but my guess is it's a self-service where you can build your own LoRa. So, for example, I'm wearing this beautiful Squid Game outfit. If I wanted myself to wear this outfit all the time, I would take a bunch of pictures of me wearing this, and then I would build a LoRa, and then I can preset that every time I generate something of my likeness.
Yeah, and it seems like that is an option. So it's called Firefly Custom Models. I'm still thinking this might be two services, or might be Firefly Foundry, which is like enterprise, will train on your products or something a bit more bespoke. And this one is Firefly Custom Models. It's in a waitlist version now, but this is similar to what you said, self-serve, upload your own images in the style that you're looking for, and you'll have your own version of Firefly that you can call up in Firefly or Firefly boards.
The Foundry stuff feels more enterprise-oriented. Like that's more for companies to use, where this one feels more consumer-oriented for you and I to use.
Yeah, this feels like Midjourney mood board feature where you can give it a bunch of images and then you get an sref code, and then you can generate your output, but give it your custom sref code that's trained on your collection of a couple images in the style that you want. So it's like a much easier way to direct and navigate the output that you want. But what's cool about this is it's still using Firefly, so you still have that commercially safe foundation if that is what you need to generate
it's super important for a lot of people. Yeah. And would you say this is more one-to-one with like Flux Context now?
I would say this could even go further than that, because Flux Context, you can't I guess if you trained a LoRa on that, but that's a bit complicated. Like, this is like a very easy way to, and not even have to know what a LoRa is, to just be like, this is the style that I like, or I want to make more images in the style, and you give it this group of images, and then you don't have to worry about prompting or styles as much. You just kind of say what you want, and then it has that under the hood LoRa directing and navigating the output to give you something in the style that you want.
In that sense, I would say it's maybe even better than Nano Banana, because it just is able to retain consistency over a long period of time. You don't have to throw reference images every time that you generate something.
Yeah. I think these are different use cases. Just like I think it's like Flux Context and Out of Banana. Those are good where you're like, I need to like direct and make very specific changes to an image, and I want to specifically modify a shot. Whereas the Firefly, the custom Firefly model, or whatever it's called, yeah. Whereas with the Firefly custom, it is literally called Firefly custom models.
Yes.
Is like I have a style. Like even in the examples here, you know, it's like a very surreal, flowery style with, you know, whales floating in the sky. And you're like, I have a very visual style that I just want all my outputs to look like this style. That's what you would use this for. And I think this is an expansion of, because inside Firefly already there is like a group of preset styles like sketch illustration and you know the 3D isometric. They're preset styles, and this seems like an expansion of that, where it's like you could just make your own style to call up to generate images in a certain style. So the different use cases, like this is not a...
it's like a style transfer on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. So it just saves you this hassle of having to like try to do very specific prompts every time to get a certain style output.
Sure.
Different use case from like Out of Banana or Flux Context.
Okay, then it's more like Runway presets.
Yeah, Runway presets, Midjourney mood boards.
Yeah.
Training your own LoRa. Pick your favorite analogy, whatever.
There's a lot for you to choose from. Just go and use it.
Yeah. The next on my list was from Theoretically Media. There's a lot of just people in the audience posting screenshots and stuff from the keynote, so getting a lot of info from there. A shot called Project Graph, which is a node-based a node-based AI editor, which could already be Invoke that we talked about from the acquisition last episode,
right?
Rolled into Adobe in some fashion.
That's it. I mean, that would be really quick if that integration already happened. And again, this just could be.
I mean, you think they were independently developing their own graph product, and then they happened to buy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably makes sense.
Yeah. Or it could be that this is a very containerized one-off demo just for Adobe Max, and the Invoke team just built it just so they could put it up on screen, right? Like this is not.
Yeah, or just to put just to also put graphs on people's radar, or node-based editing on people's radar. You know, we've still talked about how like is Adobe and Adobe users, are they the node-based audience? Are they going to adapt to that? And so maybe it's like easing. You know, if someone's like very much in the Adobe ecosystem, node-based editing is probably a pretty new concept. Like we wouldn't have really been exposed to that. So maybe it's sort of just trying to like ease people into that. Like, hey, nodes and graphs.
It's like, hey, Adobe user, you've been using Adobe for 20 years. Now look at these.
Yeah, here's another option for you.
Yeah, no, Adobe's never historically had any node-based anything, right? Like nothing I can think of.
No, we talked about this, before.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. Everything is layer based. Even going back to, I mean, obviously After Effects, but even going back to like Flash. Flash was layer based.
Right.
Yeah,
all of their web building stuff like Dreamweaver and things.
Dreamweaver.
Yeah,
nothing that I can think of that was node based there.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a new concept. And I will say a lot of these demos, I forgot what they called them, but because I was on the Adobe live stream last week, and so that was a cool experience, and the team was great. And they mentioned, because we were just talking about like what was coming up at Max or other features, it was like a category of things like they share a lot of stuff of just like test concepts. I forgot there was a word for it, but it was sort of like concept cars, where it's like you see the cool car, but like it's never actually going to go into production.
It's made out of clay.
Ideas. Yeah. Adobe has like, groupings of these sort of like lab projects where sometimes they might actually make their way into production and actually into a product, and sometimes they're more concepts or things that they're experimenting with that what you see demoed is not actually ever going to ship. It's more of like a work in progress or what they're thinking of. Like if you remember 2 years ago at NAB, they were demoing like generative AI built inside Premiere, with like the extend the scene, which that has shipped. But then they had another concept demo that was like call up any model you want inside Premiere to generate a new video clip. That is not shipped. Then that was like a year and a half ago that they demoed that. So, there are features and stuff that they'll demo that might never actually go into production.
Yeah, it's so difficult
keep that in
for
mind.
somebody like Adobe who makes software at scale, right? Like they're making this stuff for millions of users across many different industry verticals. We tend to think of only film and TV, but Adobe is fairly in play in automotive or fashion design and everything else, right? Like for them, it's so challenging to invest in a product, roll that product out, and then have it flop, right? Like, so how do you get that initial feedback from the market? And I'm sure they do siloed user testing and things like that, but that's still not like, rolling it out to 10,000, 100,000 people and getting that initial feedback. So I feel their pain. Of course you want their tool sets to get better over time, but then what direction do you take? Which products do you invest in, and so on?
Yeah, and they have such a massive user base where it's like obviously impossible to like please everyone. But when you have a specific tool that's so widely adopted, like Photoshop or Illustrator, that any one change could anger a lot of
that's the thing. I think
base.
they have pleased everyone. Like they're one of the few companies that have a universally accepted tool set across all creative industries, right? Like you think about Photoshop, Lightroom, even Premiere, that's used across the board, many different places. Like who else is a competitor to that? I would say AutoCAD on Autodesk side, like that's used across universally as well. Like there's very few players like that.
We're talking about the creative projects and stuff, but there's also so many other business aspects of Adobe that like are so B2B enterprisey. Like they have like I think they have their whole like separate like CRM marketing.
Yeah, it's called Digital
like
Experience Cloud. I think internally it's called DX. So you and I, we're the consumer side of things. So we use Creative Cloud. Then they have the Digital Experience Cloud, and then they also have another segment of the company called Digital Media Experience (DME). So the other two is where I think the bulk of the money is made on the enterprise side.
Yeah. So I'm saying that basically there's just like outside of Creative Mac, well, whatever else Max is talking about, but like Creative Cloud or Creative Suite, there's like other massive business verticals in Adobe that are like
and this is a company with like I'm gonna say $5 billion in revenue every year. Like it's a massive company. So. Again, it just makes it that much harder for them to experiment with new things when the thing that they make works perfectly fine.
Yeah, and you don't want to.
You don't want to rock the
keep
boat.
Innovating, but also like not annoy your base customers that rely on your products every day.
Yeah.
All right. Other new stuff. This one's cool. This one's a good example of just like practical AI under the hood stuff that makes things easier. Layered image editing. So basically, if you import an image into, I don't know if this was tested in Photoshop or just a Firefly feature, it automatically segments the layers and then identifies and like labels the layers.
Oh, wow.
Like AI powered AI powered layer labeling.
AI layer generator.
Yeah. So here, this image of and generative fill too. It's like they added an image of a soup bowl.
What do they call it? Layered image.
Layered image editing.
Their names are very literal nowadays.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear, not clever.
I'm just thinking for virtual production, how useful that would be for putting up plates and getting parallax out.
Oh, just moving stuff around. Oh, or that too. Oh, yeah.
Like automatic separation of the mountain from the tree from the foreground. Yeah. Like, this is awesome.
But look, it separated the chopsticks, and then as you're moving them, it generates the missing parts in the background.
Wow, that's useful because cool. I'm like a intermediate Photoshop user. I'm not really good, but one of the things that I always have a hard time, I'm rotoscoping in Photoshop, right? Like I'm using the pen tool to like separate out the layers. So this would save me tons of time.
Yeah. This is a good post from Alexandru Costin, who is the VP of Adobe Firefly. There you go.
All right. Nice.
Cool too. So I guess it's a Firefly product. I see they tagged Adobe Express too, which is sort of like their
that's their Canva
web-based. Yeah.
I use Adobe Express. I hate to say it, it's not nearly as elegant as Canva, but it definitely feels very familiar if you're familiar with Photoshop.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I also saw there's like a Photoshop cloud version. I have not used these tools in a while because they're just been in the video world. But I was exposed on the live stream because they used Adobe Express a lot for building out graphics and stuff. And it seemed powerful enough for a web tool to build out social media graphics. And,
I'm building out like birthday invites and like random graphics things all the time. So Adobe Express is perfect for that stuff.
All right, other thing that ties into something that reminded me of, I think we talked about with Facebook a while ago. Project Moonlight, Adobe's AI social media admin. And it basically looks at your existing social media assets and then starts generating new social media assets.
Wow, that's cool. There's a lot of competition in the space for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough, to compete against Facebook when they're also the platform. Yeah, Meta, when they're also the platform.
Yeah,
as well.
And Meta is not like the friendliest company to compete with. They'll outright just steal your stuff, right? Like they'll just build this into Instagram.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, it's interesting. Just like, and this expands the idea of just like, okay, we want to personalize, make a bunch of assets, social media assets at scale that still fits our brand and our style.
Yeah.
How can we have the AI learn and like keep generating new stuff from that so we can just kind of keep posting new, fresh content that still feels on brand?
Dude, we should just stop doing this podcast and just have Moonlight take over.
Yeah, we could just, we'll just get synesthesia. Why can't I speak today? Whatever the
Synesthesia.
The AI avatar company is. I think we have enough footage already. We have enough training data.
We have enough training data. Although my Squid Game suit is messing up the data today.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You're throwing it off today. All right, let me go back to Adobe press release. New AI creation tools, Generate Soundtrack. This is in public beta. An AI music generator powered by Adobe's commercially safe Firefly audio model.
Nice.
That's new. A Generate Speech, text-to-speech tool for creating voiceovers, also powered by Firefly. But they also did announce a partnership with 11 Labs.
Oh,
so also 11
that's
Labs
huge.
Integrated as well as a partner model.
Dude, 11 Labs is absolutely killing it in the audio game.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much the standard for like decent generative voiceovers.
Yeah.
Let's see, this other beta, Firefly Video Editor, a fast, intuitive, web-based multi-track timeline editor for generating, organizing, trimming, and sequencing clips, and tools to add voiceover soundtracks and titles.
Oh, interesting. I would have to take that for a spin. I mean, somebody like you would probably take a look at it and be like, it's not good enough, but...
I mean, reading this description, this sounds like something for like social media clips. Sounds like a auto edit for like creating 30 or 60-second reels or something.
How does this compete with something like Descript?
I mean, I'd have to see how much control you have after the fact. But yeah, Descript has similar features like auto edit and some auto, sort of like editing features. But then it still also has this pretty powerful like text-based, web-based video editor. So you can tweak and change stuff and have control over that. I'd be curious with this Firefly video editor, like how much control you have after you get its initial first cut at whatever it was trying to do.
I mean, if the cuts are generated in Premiere, then it's all like non-destructive, right? Like you can then join the clips again and take over essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume this is non-destructive as well, but just how much control do you have?
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming it's something like, let me give it a couple, like, my raw footage I shot on my iPhone and edit it into something interesting that we can post on our social media channel. I mean, it sounds like it also kind of competes with Premiere, the iPhone app, which they just launched. Because it's like that was also sort of trying to be built for, like, mobile creators.
Yeah, we talked about Beat.io and some of the other competitors in that space, yeah.
And this could be one of the things where they're just testing the waters. Maybe they'll integrate this into Premiere.
Sure.
It's labeled as a private beta right now, so like who knows where that goes.
I'm curious to see how the Generate Speech quality compares to like VO3, which is not the best. Oh,
well, I think I don't even. This is just text to speech. This isn't even like they're putting speech in their
lip sync or
Firefly video outputs. Right. This is the Generate Speech is a competitor or just a complementary tool to 11 Labs.
Got it. Okay.
I haven't seen them say anything yet that they're generating a speech with the Firefly video.
What's the Chinese model that is now competing with VO on both audio and video?
Wan.
Yeah, Wan 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I still think VO 3 is the best at. It's maybe Sora 2 is getting up there, but yeah, VO3 is probably still the best with generating video with matching audio.
And lip sync and all that, yeah. The synthetic human stuff just doesn't interest me enough, so I don't look into it enough, because I fundamentally believe that human performance is the center of any AI film, and that AI is just there to do essentially VFX, like put them into a background, put foreground elements on, put smoke, fire, whatever, but the core performance is not a synthetic human that's lip synced in VO and all that. But that's just me, and I know that the capabilities definitely out there, and people are gonna use it to make films.
I mean, I think I'm glad that there are more tools rising that you can take a human performance and use that to drive synthetic character.
For sure, 2.2 Animate is the perfect example of that.
All right, this one's cool. Project Light Touch. This is a clip posted by Howard Pinsky, principal design evangelist at Adobe. This sort of reminds me a bit of B-Bowl.
Yes.
Basically,
the relighting.
Import an image. Yeah, I don't know if it just only works on images or if it does video too. The demo is with image.
Yeah.
And then he's adding spherical light sources and relighting the image based on the position of the spherical light.
I welcome this in a heartbeat, because relighting, other than B-Bowl, I can't think of any other platform that's really doing it. And this is something that a lot of VFX artists are asking for actively, because relighting in the traditional sense with image-based lighting and HDRs is just so cumbersome.
Yeah. And this demo, I think it's just still photos. Obviously, people does full-on video. But yeah, and this is a demo project. Who knows what they would actually ship or integrate this in? Maybe Photoshop.
Yeah, again, I think the point of Max is to kind of show you glimpses of what all of the R&D is going on inside this massive company. Even if like 50% of the stuff actually makes it out and turns it into, a product and features that we could use, like that's a massive win for all the users out there.
All right, I got a bunch of clips from Jared Liu, who is a AI educator, and he got a bunch of good shots from the front row at
why can't I be
Max?
an AI
and
educator?
So this one, you can be. Just put it in your bio. just change your bio.
All right, you're right.
And that's it. So this one, Project Frame Forward, lets you alter the start frame but keep the same motion of the original video.
I don't get it. Can you explain that?
This demo clip, I don't think is really showing it, and it also looks like he's working in Photoshop. Let me see. So it's people doing yoga on a paddleboard.
Oh, okay. So it seems like
it's generating. Let's see what this new output is.
It'll keep the video as the same video, but then you can in-paint within it.
Yeah, so in this example, they erased one of the paddle borders but kept everything else the same. So it's sort of like like a Luma's modified video or Runway Olive-ish. I mean, this took a lot more work to get this modified, but if it didn't mess up the other two people at all, that's a pretty good test. I can't see in this video if the other people are like super consistent and if it's also at the same original resolution as the video, because the issues I've had with like Luma modified video and Runway Olive is, if you do something like that where you're like, I want to erase a person, the output video, it tends to warp the other people.
It slightly damages the original frame, right?
Yeah, and then your output quality is going to be less than HD.
Yeah, so it's like, do I really want to go this route, because you're degrading the quality and you're going into a different avenue. So and I think Runway and Luma both know this.
That's pretty useful. I'm sure they do. Yeah, obviously that's an issue, and makes it less usable for actual professional applications. If this solves that, that'd be cool. That's cool. This also sort of reminds me of, or just the way that he described it, reminds me of a feature that is in Moon Valley where you can have your starting frame and a video to drive the animation. A simpler example of this would be like, what if your starting frame was like a basketball, and then you have a very simple Blender animation of a sphere just moving around, and then that drives the animation of your ball. Very simple example, but you could do some, you could take that with what you want of like starting frame and driving video.
Yeah, I think when we covered Greg Teagarden's work, he was able to do the same thing with Comfy UI as well. Like give it a motion reference video, and then have the starting frame follow that motion reference.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're seeing that. We're seeing that more. All right, other update: Project Surface Swap, a tool in Photoshop that can automatically detect surfaces to make fast adjustments. Let's see this demo. So they selected a car.
I mean, this is not the best demo because you could replace color in Photoshop traditionally.
Yeah, you could just like select a hue range, right? And like
they could have picked a mountain in the back or something more complex.
Right. But if you're not a like color theory expert, and this is as simple as clicking the car and it automatically detects all the colors of the car and blends it. Basically, does this make something that would have taken a lot of tweaking into something that's now like a click?
Yeah, there's like a recurring theme here along Adobe Max.
The colors look good and it blends. It looks like it's blending really well. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, and it's keeping the like the highlights and the shadows well too within that color range. Yeah, I mean it's obviously everything they're going to show in a demo in front of an audience is going to look good. Yeah,
you'd hope so. Maybe, hopefully.
There's not going to be a blue screen of death or anything like that.
Image 2 3D Project SceneIt.
Okay, so this is nothing new, but the fact that Adobe is now playing in the 3D space is new.
There was something recently I discovered in Firefly boards that was like Image 2 3D. I don't know which. I don't think Firefly was doing it itself. I don't know which partner model was doing it, but basically, yeah, it made a 3D object, and you could navigate around it in Firefly boards, and it looked pretty decent for like, you know, kind of roughly compositing something.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I don't know if it's just me, Joey. What do you think? Adobe has never historically been strong in 3D.
No, and that was always a weak spot in After Effects.
And in Photoshop, there was some versions of like bringing in a 3D object or extruding a 2D layer into 3D, but it wasn't natively in, I mean, the way that, you know, Autodesk products are or anything like that.
Isn't there an Adobe product that is like one of the go-to, it's like the character, not the character animation, but the character walking library?
They acquired a company for all of the motion capture motions. I'm blanking on the name. Give me a second. They acquired like a big library of mocap.
It's like a movement.
Yeah.
Of like movements. Yeah. I feel like they have dabbled or been an accessory to the 3D space, but there's never been like a full-on Adobe product that is like 3D or 3D standard. Like I think there have been some 3D. Oh, they have some like, it was like more for like product shots. I forgot what it was called, but I remember there were some 3D Adobe products that were for like doing more for like framing stuff for product shots, not like a 3D animator, but more like taking in your 3D rendering and like reframing it so you can like make some product shots of it or social media shots. I think I could also totally be off base here because I never really used it.
Not on my radar. I mean, look, the image to 3D stuff is really interesting because there's a lot of research papers out there that clearly lay out how you can do this. The challenge is always the mesh quality tends to be completely garbage and unusable for any kind of rigging. So unless you're just
the rigging,
because the edge loops have to be clean and they have to be in the right place, and so I don't think Adobe's anywhere near the territory of having the 3D mesh turn into character rigs, and the character rigs then they get animated and so on. This is just image to a static 3D object that you could do a 360 spin on, and I think that's it.
Mixamo,
yes.
That was the
I come from a mocap background, as you know, and Mixamo before pre-Adobe acquisition was like the jam. Like that's where you can find somebody running with a gun or somebody getting dying and like all the motions for your video game.
And then Substance 3D is their 3D program.
They acquired Substance as well. So Substance is the de facto PBR texture generator. So if you're a texture artist, you're generating, you know, albedo, normal maps, and all that stuff in Substance. So I think that was a smart acquisition on their part.
Right, but nothing in there. That's not like animation and stuff. That's
they don't have like a Maya. They don't have a Blender. They don't have Unreal. Like they don't have a 3D platform where all of this stuff can live together seamlessly.
Okay, other demo, Project New Depths lets you insert an image that understands the depth of the environment. This is pretty cool. That's cool for drag and drop and also like just easy scene modification.
Yeah, again, everything just on their 3D side, it just feels so fragmented and just a little all over the place. I wish they would announce something like, hey, on Adobe Express or on Adobe Firefly, there's this new 3D viewer where all of the
Yeah, I mean, these are like, I'm trying to look with these things. I'm like trying to see like what app are they in, and this is like running off a web browser, so it's like clearly a beta
this
product.
clearly looks like a research project over the last 6 months that they're just showing off, which I don't know if it has any product implications.
I mean, I could see them putting that in Photoshop or something.
Again, you don't want 3D tool sets to live in Photoshop. It's like the complete wrong place for you to do all that stuff.
But if it's like a 2D image and you're like, I just want to modify or just want to put some stuff in here, reshift some stuff, it's still working at a 2D space.
But then Photoshop would need to turn into a 3D environment natively, right? Like
doesn't it have some 3D support right now? Like, could you import a 3D object and reposition
I think so. Yeah, it like switches into a different UI slightly, or at least the last time I tried it, it did that. So one of the things that I used to do was when I was into 3D printing, I would make a really intricate 2D, like a text, and then just extrude it in Photoshop, and then bring that extrusion into my 3D environment.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Other test, Project CleanSlate. Lets you change the dialogue of someone by altering the text transcript.
Oh, boy.
This is another demo thing. Yeah, I know this is going to, annoy some people. But this is nothing that is not already in a million other products.
Yeah.
Descript has this. I think Viid.io has this. This is a very early demo product, but all of the other products, you can't change someone's voice without getting their voice authentication to approve to replicate their voice. I would assume there's something similar here. And I'm going to guess, too, that under the hood, this is using Firefly's audio model, which would also make it less of a commercially safe gray area if you were using this to clean up an interview or something. Yeah, I know this is always slightly controversial, but also this is nothing new that editors have not been doing for decades of Frankenbiting audio to clean up stuff and make people say things more succinctly. Obviously, if you make people say things that they did not intend to say, that's unethical, but most of the time this is used just to make people sound better and more coherent.
Let's say like you recorded, George Clooney come in for 10 minutes and do a commercial read, and he forgot to say the name of the product in there, right? Which was the part that he was getting paid for. You can now go in and say, Sapporo Light beer, right? Like,
make it a Santori time.
Yes. The reason I bring up George Clooney and Sapporo is because I think he's a sponsor for those, or a brand ambassador for those guys.
Possibly. Before the internet, like, they would go off and do like those Japanese commercials, like, and make bank, but no one would ever know about it because there wasn't
I was
the
in a
internet,
Japanese subway in like 2012, and like George Clooney's face was just plastered on tires. I was like, nobody in America knows this. He's like the man over here.
Right. Lastly, I always forget it's an Adobe product, but Frame.io also had some
Frame.io,
updates.
we're big fans over here at the noise.
Yeah,
I love me some Frame.io as well. I think a lot of us in film and TV do, because it just works.
Yeah, it really became the backbone for edit reviews and notes and stuff. They did add media intelligence. I don't know if this is going to be like a paid add-on or something, but basically similar to a feature they added in Premiere where it could analyze your footage and you can kind of just semantically search for, dog, hat, things, objects. You can do that in Frame.io now, which or when this rolls out later in November. So that's very cool. And then more integration with Premiere. The thing that I still think is kind of crazy that I just don't understand is like Premiere has team projects and some collaborative features. They have Frame.io, which already has cloud storage features. But if you do a team project in Premiere, their documentation is basically like, you need to coordinate with everyone on how to share proxies. Good luck. You should probably use LucidLink for that. But it's like they already have a cloud service as part of their company. I don't understand why there's a better integration if you wanted to have a collaborative team project similar to Blackmagic Cloud, where it's just like load up a Premiere team project, the proxies get synced to a Frame.io project, and when other people join, it downloads the proxies onto the computer. I don't know why that hasn't happened yet. I'm very confused.
Sounds like you need to talk to somebody at Frame.io.
I have talked to people at Adobe about this. So that is not an update.
That's a great point.
This is Joey's product
Mr.
feature
Common
request.
Sense Joey.
Podcast. This is free consultation for Adobe. Here you go. Merge your two products together. Even better. Yeah, I think there's also been a vibe too of just Frame.io still remaining as a separate entity as well, because to not be or give the impression that it's so dependent on Premiere, because obviously Frame.io works with any NLE or outside of NLE. It doesn't even have to be video anymore. They support PDFs and images and all
I
sorts of
think
stuff.
Frame.io upload supports like 3D files as well. Like sometimes I'll get a transfer from another company and they'll just send me FBX files on Frame.io. I believe that's correct.
Frame.io is just a really good way to just move large files because like if you start sending large files like 200 gigabyte BRAW files like through Google Drive or Dropbox, they just break.
No, you're doing WeTransfer, and even WeTransfer just doesn't have that elegant segmentation and folder file system. So hot take on Frame.io, I think the reason Frame.io is still very much, it feels very indie and small and organic to me. Like it doesn't feel like big, heavy enterprise software, is because it's still somewhat segmented from the main Adobe sort of ecosystem. And I think that's strategy. I think they are intentionally doing it that way to just keep it nimble and light and useful.
Yeah, I agree. And to keep it as like I said, I forget Frame.io is part of Adobe, but just to keep it where it's not like so, where you don't get the impression that it's so intertwined with Creative Suite. So like whether you use Creative Suite or not, you could still use Frame.io. It's a separate billing system, a separate account system. Like it's still very pretty separate.
No, Frame.io is a lifesaver. When we did the short film a few years ago, I mean, we were talking terabytes and terabytes of red raw camera files that were just going from here to Japan and all over the world. And Frame.io was so good at that stuff.
Yeah. Also, I mean, their camera to cloud has become pretty industry standard for like any newer cameras that have internet connectivity built in, or any of the Atomos monitors or anything else. Like there are other camera to cloud services, but Frame.io's camera to cloud has pretty much been the default standard. Like you definitely have to have that, and then maybe you support Sony C, or Atomos has their new service, or Blackmagic Cloud, or any of the other ones. But Frame.io's is like the baseline standard.
So no, I'll just sort of wrap it up with what I think Adobe Max was this year. It's funny that we're covering it and we're an AI-oriented podcast, right? Like that's how strongly in this space Adobe is in every facet of AI. We talked about image editing, video generation, even now 3D, audio with speech and music. So kudos to Adobe for really shifting into this direction. Because they were so early to the game, I think there was some missteps with the Firefly image model and it sort of being too commercially safe and not good enough in quality. I think that some of that is being mitigated and corrected. So I'm really hopeful for this company to sort of find its path and find its way, because in the end it benefits all of us, right? Like we're all transitioning into these new set of tools. Somebody's just got to build them and then serve it to millions of people at scale.
Yeah, I think this feels like a lot more of a kind of maturity phase where it's like they had to go through the rough patch of building out the AI, Firefly models. But now that they're there and they're better, they're being integrated in ways under the hood that just makes day-to-day task easier. So like Harmonize being better, like being able to drag an image in and have it segmented and the labels identified, or being able to search your footage semantically for objects. There's feels like a lot less kind of just generative stuff in this, and a lot more feature improvements, where under the hood it's using Firefly and other generative models, but the feature set is just like a lot more practical and useful for people going about their everyday work.
People just need to get stuff done.
Yep, get it done.
Can I do my read in my costume?
Yeah, go for it.
This is it. A special thank you to Paul Trapani from Spotify, who has consistently commented on our episodes and has supported us. We thank you, Paul. The other thing to note is on YouTube, there is now a new feature called Hype Points. If you're watching on YouTube, give us some hype points. We'll see how it goes. Thank you.
I'll
have to show you, Joey.
Yep, let's see how that goes. Links for everything we talked about either down in the show notes or over at denoisedpodcast.com. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next episode.